Insiders, and man, are we excited to be here today.
It's a party, baby!
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Saturday Night with the Insiders. It's Saturday Night Fever. We are here for our weekly wrestling show, and I hope you guys are all having a great weekend so far, and I'm glad you all came out to join us tonight. As always, with me is Jeff. Jeff, what's going on, man? Another crazy week in the sport of wrestling. I seem to say this every single week.
Every week, man. Every week is without fail that there's just a ton going on. So yeah, I mean, you know, let's strap in and get ready for another show because we got a lot to talk about.
Absolutely. Let's roll, man. Let's roll. So yes, we will go over some stuff that we've got coming up. Of course, first I'll welcome in everybody into the show. C saying the stream must be torture for Joe. He just got a PS5 and can't. Yeah, that does suck. I knew there was going to be, I was going to have to do some stuff and get it set up and things like that. So that's going to be tomorrow after work. So I'm going to have time to do it anyway. But first off, welcome to anyone who is new. I saw that Charlie is new. Thank you for being here. You're subscribed to the channel. Appreciate that. If you are new, and I know there might be some of you out there who are coming to us from other places, Facebook, Twitch, whatever, make sure you hit up our YouTube channel and hit the subscribe button. We would really appreciate it. Drop a like on the video as well, and also share the video if you would. And we'll tell you what we got with our lineup for this week. So on Monday, of course, we have Abby's Window, which is our show all about all things Bray Wyatt. I was lucky enough to also today with my PS5, I ended up getting the cool Burned Fiend painting from Rob Schamberger, the guy who paints the wrestlers. It's really cool looking. Went right up on my Bray shelf. So yes, all about Bray Wyatt. That will be Jody and Jeff. They will discuss all things in the news dealing with Bray and also with Alexa Bliss. So if you're into that, make sure you join them at 6 p.m. on Monday night, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, of course. And then we will be back on Thursday. Thursday, we will have our Impact Wrestling watch along, which we do every single week, which is going to be interesting, and we'll talk about why, but you won't want to miss that one. There's some really cool things going on Thursday night, so make sure you're with us for that. We will have our show called After the Impact this week on as well, which is kind of just a wrap-up show of what we just saw and things that we liked, things we didn't like, and things that we think are going to happen going forward. And then on next Saturday, of course, we'll be right back here. So there you go. That's what we got for the week coming up. And I will welcome some people in, and we will get started. Nathan says, hey, Jeff and Joe. What's up, Nathan? How are you? Cheese Whiz is here. Good evening, everyone. Hello to you. Charlie, of course. Yo, just up. Thank you, Charlie. Sean is here. Hey, everyone. Hope you're having a nice weekend. Yeah, you too. I'm a huge wrestling fan, says Charlie Broussard. Well, that's a good thing. You are in the right place. C Wrestling is here. What's up, C? Jordan is here. Hello, Jordan. Big Dan is here. Is everyone ready for all the dirt and best of all? No 900 number hotline. Yes. No, we don't charge for the 900 number hotline. That is correct. Butterspark says, yo, Insiders. What's up? Kevin, what's going on? Azan is here. What's up, Azan? How are you? And there is DJB Tazzy. It's an Insiders party, baby. Absolutely, it is. Tazzy, of course, has his shows as well. Make sure you check out his channel also. I think he just hit 700 subs, so congrats to Tazzy. So make sure you check. Yep. Absolutely. Tazzy joins us when he can for Impact, and of course the pay-per-views also. Let's see who else. Brandon Barnes, hello to you. Randy Sam, hello Randy. Roman's new theme killed it. That's how a superstar should look. Yeah, we'll probably talk about that a little bit in the breaking news. That was a great match. Cult of Wyndham 83, what's going on? Let's see. Did I miss anyone? Cheese Whiz Jr. So not only is there a Cheese Whiz, but there's a Cheese Whiz Junior now. So kind of like a cheeseburger and a junior cheeseburger. Okay, I see where you're going with that. Let him in is here. Rusty Shackelford is here. What's up, Rusty? Dan Bradley is here. I'm new here. How do you feel about Roman Reigns' new theme, mob boss vibes, and transformer together, unstoppable? Yeah, we'll talk about that. In fact, we'll talk about that. Maybe we'll just do that next, since everybody's kind of asking. John Cena Gamer 0809, hello. All right, let's get into the breaking news, shall we? And why not? Since you all kind of started talking about that anyway, let's go to SmackDown last night, Jeff, and we'll talk a little bit about Roman Reigns. Of course, the build-up all week to him and Daniel Bryan, and this could be the last match we see Daniel Bryan, of course, on SmackDown. If he loses, he would be banned from that show. You can't really say you can ever doubt Daniel Bryan. He's always good for a great match, and this one was no different. It has been talked about by many people on the dirt sheets and otherwise as a match of the year candidate, which is pretty good because, apparently you don't see a lot of them in WWE anymore, or at least people voting them from WWE. So it was a really, really good match between these two. Kind of didn't know who would win and who wouldn't. I mean, we all kind of figured Roman's not dropping that title, but still, it went on for quite a while. I was surprised they started it as soon as they did. It started almost at like 20 after the hour, so they gave it like 40 minutes. Now there were commercials, but enjoyable match and a great ending to what was this small feud between Roman and Daniel. And of course, now the speculation is, Jeff, is where is Daniel going to end up? Of course, he's not retiring, so he could end up on Raw, which would be okay because God knows they can use the help. Or people are even saying maybe he goes to NXT as well. So some interesting stuff there. What did you think of and the theme song? You were all asking us. I loved it. I thought it was great. They said they had been working on that for a while. So I liked it a lot. I thought it's good to get away from that other theme, the song that he had with his other character. It was kind of the last thing kind of holding him down with that old persona. So good to get away from that. Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was great. Jeff, what did you think of last night's match and the theme song?
Man, I thought it was a great match.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it's so refreshing to see on WWE television. It's just good to see. And I got to say this too. And people may be asking, why does Jeff sound like a midnight drive radio host? I've got my little kids here, and they are in the other room sleeping. So I may sound like I'm about to play some R&B hits on V 101.3. It was a great match. The theme, I love Roman's new theme. Like you said, it was kind of that last tie to the Shield. So now that he's away from that, he can really just take off and not have that thing still tied to him, which I'm happy about. So, but yeah, it was a great match, and I would love to see Daniel Bryan end up going to NXT. But there are also some other reports out there about Daniel Bryan that he may end up being the first WWE star to kind of break through that forbidden door. He may actually end up on other promotions. So you might see him on Wednesday nights, since we're not allowed to say anything about that show.
Yeah, we don't want to do that.
We'll get to that. That's going to be really interesting how I can scream, yell with my kids here. But I'm going to find a way to happen. What's up, Gust? So yeah, I'm really excited to see what happens next for Daniel Bryan. Honestly, I'm ready to see who the heck takes on Roman Reigns. Like, who's the person that's going to be the one to dethrone him? Because whoever that is, they're going to have the rocket ship firmly planted to their back and just go straight to the moon.
Yeah, I agree. They really are going to have to build up a face to do that. People had guessed. Now, obviously, it's going to be Cesaro for the time being. Whether or not you think Cesaro is going to beat him, man, I don't know. Did anyone else notice? And I honestly thought I was crazy. But I don't know. Did anyone else notice after that match was over and everything that had happened? I sat there and I listened really closely. Did you hear what the crowd was chanting? Did you hear what the crowd was chanting? Like, where did that come from? Like, they at Roman standing up and you know, they're talking like, who's going to beat, the announcers are, who's going to beat Roman Reigns? All of a sudden we get a Rocky chant. Mm-hmm. The crowd starts chanting Rocky. Like, where did that come from? I mean, you know,
I loved it.
Yeah. Like, I mean, obviously the crowd was, yeah, I mean, people are obviously reading dirt sheets because, you know, I mean, and whether or not they even had a lot, but here's the kicker to that. And this is what I thought was really, really odd. So when you're in the Thunderdome, and I don't know if you guys know this, those of you who have been in probably do, but you know, they coach you what to say now. Mm-hmm. They coach you what to say. So when they want you to boo, they tell you to boo. Well, same thing when they want you to cheer. What if they coach them to do that at the end of that show? Maybe that little thing's going to be starting a lot kind of sooner than we thought it was going to start. So, wow, yeah, I was shocked when I heard that. I'm like, are they really doing that? I had to do a double take. And I'm like, and then I went back and rewound that and watched it again. I'm like, sure enough, that's exactly whose name they were saying. So already they're starting built up for that. Yeah, it's really cool. Hello, Sunny Wolf, by the way. And hey, Conrad, what's going on? I heard they were telling people to cheer. Yeah, they will tell you when you're in there to cheer or to boo whoever it is. They'll come out and say, you know, hey, give this guy a lot of boos when he comes out, or you know, let's hear some cheers, blah, blah, blah. So I'd be really interested to know. I wish I knew someone who was in there last night, and really interested to know whether or not they did tell them to do that. That's crazy, because they really, when I was on it last a couple of weeks ago, at the very end of the show, they will tell you, you know, come on, really get into it and kick, you know, get the show out on a really high note. So I'm really interested to know whether or not they told them to do that. But yeah, I found that really interesting. So, all right. More breaking news. Jeff, there's this guy who used to be on this show called Saved by the Bell.
Yep.
Who now is gonna attempt to try to get into WWE. Mario Lopez is trying out for WWE. Look, you know what I think? I think maybe what's going to lead to some of this, and I guess I'm not totally surprised by it, Jeff, and you could tell me if you agree, but I think that the Bad Bunny stuff is going to lead to a lot more of this, because I think they're going to be like, hey, you know what? This guy really, you know, did a great job in the little time that he had to train. So obviously, hey, why can't I do it? Why can't I go in there and train and come out and put, you know what? Look, this kind of stuff works for these guys too. I mean, if they're not their career isn't big. Now, I'm not saying Bad Bunny was already on top of the world anyway, but if some of these guys maybe aren't so fortunate now and later in their careers and aren't in the limelight anymore, why not? If WWE will allow them to come out for maybe a big event like a SummerSlam or something like that, why not, man? And obviously we saw how Bad Bunny did, and maybe this, you know, maybe Mario's kind of thinking, hey, I maybe I'll give it a shot. Maybe I'll do it. Now we'll see. We'll see if he does succeed and it goes any further than where it is. But he's trying. So yes, he thinks he's AC Slater against his Jeff. Yeah.
Well, but he is though, and I think this has everything to do with the Peacock partnership, because for those who don't know, there's a new Saved by the Bell that's on Peacock. Yep. So, you know, which by the way, I mean, how old does it make you feel to know that show was like 30 years ago?
Oh, I know. Not that I need to feel old anyway. C reminds me every stream. It's crazy. Conrad saying Zach Morris has to cost him the match. Yes, Zach or Mr. Belding have to come in and cost him a match somehow. Oh, yeah. I would say Screech, but you know, rest in peace. Dustin. Yes.
but yeah, I mean, I think this has everything to do with that partnership. Rusty's talking my language right now, talking about Tiffany Amber Thiessen. She was a crush and a half back in the day. So
I think that was the case for a lot of guys that watched that show. Yes. See, I told you. See, right away comes out with Joe remembers AC Slater's great great grandfather being the star of Saved by the Bell. Yes, I do.
So hey, I think it's good. I mean, I'm excited to see it, and hey, if he can do close to what Bad Bunny did, I'm for it. I mean, now he's a little bit older than Bad Bunny. I think he's pushing like 50 or 51 or something like that. But hey, if he can do it, let's make it happen.
Yeah. I mean, if they're going to give him a shot, let's see what he has. And like I said, who knows? We may never hear anything about it. It may kind of come and go. He may take do a tryout, and they might be like, yeah, you just can't cut it. And we may never hear anything else about it. But like I said, hey, who knows? David Arquette should make a comeback in WWE. Says is on. Oh, gosh.
Listen, I mean, dude did some work on the indies. I mean,
he did. Yeah, he ded. Abby alert, Jody Gilly is here. What's up, Jody? How are you? But yeah, Tazzy saying, can we get Lisa Turtle to Tazzy said Peaches. There's a Peaches alert. I was talking about Thundercats, Kevin in the chat. Good Lord. Now we're bringing all kind of memories back. All right. So yes, that's there you go. There you go. And I think that might be it for the breaking stuff, I believe. Nothing else really out there that I can remember. There's some garbage floating around from Jim Cornette, of course, and I don't want to quote him on anything. I don't really care what he has to say. I'm trying to think if there was anything else that I came across. I mean, somebody mentioned in the chat about fans coming back. That's still kind of up in the air. They're shooting, I think, for late summer, so you might see people back again for SummerSlam, I would think. And then it seems like, I guess we could incorporate this a little bit too. So Jody got tickets to get an autograph from Bray Wyatt. It was at a comic book shop in Albany, New York, and now they finally came out and said, well, that's back on. So that is in September. So I'm kind of guessing that, and it also seems now, if you guys are into like rock bands and stuff like that, it seems like a lot of them now are now starting to tour. You're seeing tour dates being given, and it's all seems like it's September on. So September seems like it might be kind of the magic month when they're going to start to get things back to semi-normal. So I'm kind of thinking that that's probably where they're headed as far as where they stand with fans and stuff like that, and bringing people back is probably going to be early fall. So, but
I gotta say this to you, Joe.
Yeah.
Even if you don't have a ticket, and I definitely don't have a ticket, I still think we should do this thing live. I feel like because this is here, obviously you have a place to crash, but I kind of feel like we need to do an Insiders Live, and we need to do it from Crossgates Mall. And I am going to contact, because I have a connection to that comic book store.
Oh, cool.
I am going to contact them and see if that's something that we can do.
That'd be awesome.
Possibly we could do an Insiders Live.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be great.
Yeah, I mean, actually, none of us have ever met outside of the show and outside of the internet. So, yeah, that would be awesome. Hey, I'm down. I'm not that far away. I think it's about a 3-hour drive for me. So, hey, that would be cool. And obviously, we know Jody's going up for the autograph. So, Jody will be there as well. So, yeah, there you go. That might be a thing. So, you guys might get to see Jody getting her autograph live from Bray Wyatt. Sean says he's in, so there you go. We might have a bunch of people coming from the chat as well. So yeah, that would be awesome. Let's see who can get up there and see if we can make that happen. That would be awesome. So I know there were people also asking on our Twitter if there was still availability. I don't think so. At least from watching the video and from what I heard, he did say that there may be, like, obviously if they get some people that cancel or who can't come now, that you may see some tickets go back on sale. But as far as I know, I doubt it. Now they are going to do where you can send in products. They're going to let so many people send in things to have them sign while they're in the shop. So you can get some things signed. I'm not sure what the charge will be for that. They haven't announced it yet, but keep your eye on that comic book store on Facebook and you'll find out. They're going to announce that, you could send some stuff up and they'll have either Bray and Alexa is going to be there as well, that they will have Bray or Alexa sign merch for you. So obviously for a fee, I don't know what the prices are, but yeah, there you go. All right. But yeah, I think that was about it. Other than what we got from the actual wrestling show. Oh, and of course, next Friday is a throwback. You guys know I love throwbacks. I'm like king of the 80s. So anything that is a throwback thing, we've got a throwback SmackDown next Friday night, which looks really cool.
Bring that back. The
there
fifth.
You go.
I want to see this set, the fifth set.
Oh, the old fist set. Yeah,
let's see.
I'm down. Yeah, man. I'm excited for that. I loved how they had the old, almost like the old TV screen and the commercials and stuff like that too. Yeah, I'm down. I love whenever they do any kind of throwback stuff like that. So I think it's going to be pretty fun. So yeah, don't forget that next week's SmackDown should be a lot of fun for that too. And who knows? Who knows?
Good God.
Maybe. Oh God, I just saw what C Wrestling says. And I'm not going to make that comment. I think it just broke Jeff. Yeah. Anyway, we may see, that's another thing, is we may see some people coming back. The rumor is that there are a lot of these people who have been gone. We don't know why they've been gone. I'm not going to speculate. There's a lot of people who said reasons possible, but now they're saying that AJ Styles and Omos should be back for Monday. So people are maybe coming back, and maybe we will see some people that we've missed come back this week as well. So keep an eye out. Next week should be a lot of fun. All right, let's get into the rest of the show. Since we went over the breaking news, let's go into some more stuff here. Yes. Wow, is this a shocker? Did not see this coming one bit. And when they announced it, it was really cool. It was just on an ad, and they just popped it up on there. You kind of saw the screen kind of blacking out and things like that. And then they announced that El Phantasmo will be on and a part of Impact Wrestling show this coming week. And man, there were a lot of people that were really, really excited about this. He's a big player in New Japan, obviously. And, people talking about, well, why is this happening? I mean, obviously, guys, it's going to be on Access TV. So New Japan's show is going to be on Access TV. I mean, like Jeff was saying about Peacock and WWE, these studios, these TV places have influence on what they do. So obviously with Impact out there already being on Access, they're going to try to advertise another show on Access to get people watching more wrestling on the channel. So that's what they're doing. They're bringing these guys in. Obviously we have Finn Juice there already as the champs, and now you're getting this guy. Now, I am going to let Jeff talk because I'm not as familiar with New Japan. I have not watched it very much. I'll be the first to admit. So Jeff's going to talk about what this guy will bring to the wrestling ring and what we may see coming up. Now, what I'm curious about, Jeff, is I wonder, are they going to stick him into that tournament, or is this just kind of going to be a one-off?
I feel like you got to stick him in it. I do. Just for those who don't know, ELP, El Phantasmo, is a member of the Bullet Club. So just know that there's that tie there. But just to give you an idea, two-time, like back-to-back, 2019, 2020 Super J Cup winner. His match for the 2020 J Cup against ACH, phenomenal. Like, phenomenal. But I'd actually printed out a list of his accolades because I would forget most of them. But here we go. 2019 light heavyweight World Cup winner for German Wrestling Federation. Two-time IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championship with Ishimori. Again, two-time Super J Cup winner, 2019, 2020. He was actually ranked in the PWI 500 last year, 170. And that's with him not getting the exposure here in the States that he will get now. Azan asking the question, how would they stick him in? I think you maybe get an interference somehow and get someone backstage that can't go, and then you stick him in one of these matches, whether it's I'm trying to think of the other matches that are set to go for next week, but I think you have him wrestle, and maybe here we go. I think maybe what happens is, since Cardona has been selling that injury so much, you have the ELP wrestle someone, and Scott D'Amore comes out and says, "Okay, well, we don't have Cardona, but ELP is here now, and here we go." He's gonna be in there. But yeah, I mean, dude is phenomenal. If you have not had a chance to see him live, go check him out on YouTube. Bullet Club all day. And again, you just keep seeing this forbidden door open wider and wider. And I personally, and I know we've seen this on the Wednesday night show too, but personally, I think when it's all said and done, New Japan and Impact will have a closer relationship than the other show and New Japan.
Yeah, I agree. I think that the interesting thing, like Jeff pointed out, is the whole Bullet Club thing, because obviously the other show has their own kind of developing or pretty much laying stake to that name. And, that was kind of at the very start of all this, that was kind of a sticking point. The guys who were in it in New Japan weren't happy about that at all. So they could be coming back to try and reclaim what is theirs, and you could end up having Bullet Club versus Bullet Club at some point. So yeah, this is going to be a big thing. I'm excited to see it too, because whenever I get to see somebody new, like Taylor Wilde, I never saw her wrestle live, so it was awesome to see. I'm a fan of being able to see firsts, so I will be really watching this with a keen eye, because I really am excited to see him in what will be, for me, the first time seeing him live. And I'm going to check out some of his stuff on YouTube, obviously, too, before that happens. I want to see some of what he has done. But yeah, this is big, and we continue to get this. Now, for what reason it is, like I said, it's more than likely to promote their show, but that's fine. If that's what they're going to do, then hey, bring it on. Bring it on. Big Dan says, Joe, I take it the other show is the wrestling equivalent of Voldemort.
Oh, don't worry, we're going to get there.
We will get there. Oh, before we go on, I wanted to show you guys. I think I put it on Twitter.
Ooh.
Rob Schamberger is amazing, man. This is a really cool piece of art. He put it up for sale. I know you guys are all Bray fans, so I wanted to show that to you guys. I absolutely love it. It's on my Fiend shelf, but he did a great job with it. And he also sends out some cool little stuff with it. He sent this out too. You can see. It is an Oscar sticker. It's a little sticker that he sends out too. So yeah. So shout out to him. If you guys haven't already, we interviewed Mr. Schamberger. So go back and check out the interview. It was really cool. We got to talk to him. He talked to us about some of his inspirations and things like that. Of course, talked about Bray as well. So yeah, did I draw it? No, Dan. I have no drawing talent. If I had drawn that, you would see a big mish of colors and stick figures. So no, that is Rob Schamberger. They call him the guy who paints the wrestlers. So that's what he does. He has a thing with WWE where he does a lot of drawings and pictures of wrestlers. So yeah, sorry about. I just wanted to stick that out there.
We had him on our show before, so go to our channel and check it out.
Yep, absolutely. Go check out the interview. It was a really cool interview, really a lot of fun to get an idea of where he got his start from and what got him into doing paintings of actual wrestlers. So yeah, definitely go check that out. All right, next up, we have Braun Strowman, and I think I lost Jeff, maybe. Jeff might have had to step away for a little bit. All right, so we'll just go on. Braun Strowman added to the title match upcoming at Backlash. So obviously, yes, this has been a little odd. I mean, things obviously were changing, which we'll talk about a little bit later too. But you know, Braun was supposed to go up against Randy Orton. Of course, that ended up changing, and now he's involved in what is a triple threat. Now, we all know back from WrestleMania, triple threats pretty much just mean that, number one, if the champ does lose, he can lose without looking bad because somebody else can get pinned. Or it allows it to where the champ could retain his title while the other guys kind of destroy each other. And that's kind of more where I think that this is going to probably go. This is probably going to lead to a Braun versus Drew feud in the future and, you know, in the near future and things to come after Backlash is over. And Bobby will probably go on to someone else. Is what I'm thinking anyway. But we'll see. They may change that up, but I don't think Bobby's going to drop the title yet, and I think he's going to move on. And then it'll probably lead to, like I said, Drew and Braun. They have bad feelings for each other already. You could see that. So, yes. But, look, triple threats are what they are. They do them for a reason, and that's what I think that is going to happen at Backlash. So, Jeff, what do you think of Braun being added to the match?
You know, it's another one of those things where you're trying to add in someone to not make another person look weak. It just depends on who you want to have take the pin in this one. You'll be able to tell a lot from this match by who eats the pin.
Mm-hmm.
If Drew eats the pin, then they've moved on from him in terms of title contention for the moment.
Yep.
If Braun eats the pin, then it's just same old Braun booking. Make him look like a monster, and then later on, put him in a match that has absolutely no bearing on his future, and, you know, he just eats a pin. Yeah. I mean, I think it's interesting. I actually don't mind it, but I want to see something come of it. I'd be okay with a feud between Braun and Drew, like I would, because I don't think WWE does that enough. You know, like I don't think they do that enough. They don't have enough feuds outside of the main event that matter. You know, like that's one of the things. I want to see some stuff that matters. You know, it's just the same old crap. I want to see something different. Thank you, Daniel Son, for the generous donation there, saying Raw is floundering. I'm not saying the first one, TNA are close. We'll talk about that, though. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, that's coming up.
It's coming up.
That's coming up.
Because I have a new name for that company, and you'll be interested in that's what I'm doing here on out. So, but yeah, they need more feuds, you know, upper card and, you know, and down. So, you know, we'll see what happens. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting, but it looks like it was just kind of well, let's just throw somebody else in there so we don't make one of these guys look weak.
Yeah, I agree, and I think that's where they're going. It is, and we'll get to this in a little bit too. But a lot of the booking coming from Raw is really just crazy, and a lot of people are just wondering, like, people are complaining about all these rematches, and they're saying that this pay-per-view is just going to be one big rematch. You're just going to have the same feuds going through this, and it's basically why it's called WrestleMania Backlash, because it's just going to be a lot of the same matches again. But we'll see. We'll get into that in a little bit as well. I'm starting to see and hear I'm sick of Drew McIntyre in the main event scene. Fickle, yeah. How quick does that change, Conrad? When everybody wanted him to be the champ, and now all of a sudden he's kind of on a bit of a losing streak. This is, and I don't want to get into it now because I can get into it a little bit later. But the fact that he started wrestling against Mace and T-Bar isn't a good sign for me. It's just not a good sign for me. So I don't know. All right, let's go on to our next topic. And I think we have something about another possible forbidden door opening in wrestling.
Yeah. And this was actually confirmed by Triple H earlier on Twitter. This is happening.
Wow. Well, there you go. So apparently you're going to have another kind of a thing going on between MLW and WWE. Look, I mean, Triple H did say, and a lot of people kind of blew it off. He said a while back, didn't he, that he was going to be open to dealings, and people just kind of figured, oh yeah, he's just saying that because the AEW stuff's going on with Impact. Well, obviously not. The thing is, I wonder though, being that Triple H was the one who talked about it, is it going to be something with MLW and NXT instead of MLW in the main roster? That's kind of what I'm curious about here and how this is going to work out. But obviously, they're having an agreement, like Jeff said, that's been confirmed by Triple H. So now we've got this stuff going on. And look, what did we say when all this stuff with that other company and Impact started off? You're going to open a lot of doors. Because the thing is, if you start getting everybody together on that other show and on Impact, it's going to open some eyes and you're going to get a lot of people watching. Well, WWE can't afford to just sit back and just say, we can take care of this. They're not dumb. They can see the forest through the trees as well. And if they think there's going to be some kind of big thing, like Jeff had talked about, a gigantic pay-per-view coming up with a combination of different companies, you can bet that WWE figures we better get on top of this and we better start kind of doing something similar in order to compete. Because, we can't have them out there doing their big, huge show with 3 companies possibly involved and us sitting here trying to go up against that with just us. So, yeah, I think this is interesting. I think it's cool. And I think more, as fans, give me more.
Yeah, and apparently Conrad is saying that it was a fake Triple H account. So I got. Oh
well.
But the thought is still being reported. So listen,
we'll see.
In particular, the details are that it will be more so NXT working with MLW, which I'm all for that. Someone said Hammerstone. I'm all for that. Fatu. I'm all for that. Obviously the family, lines there are tremendous. So just give me that. You know what? Leo Rush is there. I'd love to see him back with some guys. Yeah. The Von Erichs in some tag team action. You know what? Give me the Von Erichs and MSK.
Oh man. Yeah.
That kind of stuff. Man, it's just so much. Myron Reed. I mean, I could go on and on and on. It would be a great situation for both parties. And we're going to talk about this a little bit later. But yeah, I think MLW getting their TV deal is a big thing too. So just get your popcorn ready.
Something to keep an eye on for sure. Absolutely. Thanks for the comment, Daniel-son. Love the show. Glad I found you guys. Well, we're glad you're here. All right. So more open door stuff, man. This is crazy. Well, like I said, we're living through some crazy, crazy times in wrestling. So like Jeff said, buckle up because you never know what's going to come down the road. All right. Speaking of never knowing what is coming up, we have mentioned this woman's name for quite some time on our show because nobody ever really knew when she was coming back, who she was coming back with. And apparently she is joining that other company and maybe getting back together with her dad. Who is also in that company as well. So it looks as if Tessa Blanchard is on her way back. And she's on her way back to Wednesday nights, it appears. Or, well, maybe not Wednesday. It could be Monday or Tuesday as well. But it looks as if they are going to get another addition to their roster. So I can't say I'm surprised at all by this one. I really can't, because I really didn't think Impact was going to have her back, especially with everything that she did with the title and not sending them the title back and all that kind of stuff that went on. Her comments that she made, which we all know about all of that happened last year. I kind of didn't think the WWE would want to touch her either, even though we did see some backstage pictures with her and Bayley and stuff like that. And NXT, I'm not sure where they were. They were all in the gym together, I think, in the picture. But I kind of figured that WWE wasn't going to go there either. So I'm not really surprised that she is headed there. Now, that said, and her comments aside, we're not gonna get into that because yes, people are you've all heard it, you've all known the news and what she was saying. We're not gonna get into that. Will she be an advantage to that company? Sure. Sure. They have, the thing is, and you always wonder about this kind of a thing, right? And the thing that you always wonder is you've got some good young talent coming up there now. You got Statlander, you got Jade Cargill, you have some good talent that's coming up there. Thunder Rosa, of course. So where does she come in and go? Do they put her right into a title picture, or does she kind of have to prove it again and work her way up? Not really sure. So I guess that's the big thing is, hopefully they won't kind of penalize the women who have been there and fighting for what they fought for already and kind of just stick Tessa right into the main event picture. So Conrad says, Tessa, no thanks. Yeah, I'm sure you're not the only one that's felt that way, Conrad. I'm sure. She burned a lot of bridges, unfortunately. And when you do that, it's going to be hard to get that back. So yeah, I really don't know. And, maybe they're doing it now when they don't have a whole heck of a lot of fans, because if you brought her back into a packed arena, you may get exactly that reaction to her, and she might get booed out of the building. So maybe that's why they're taking a chance now, because they don't have that much, as far as fans go there, and then they may figure, well, people will just get over it by the time that they have a big pay-per-view with her in there. But signs are, it looks like she's going to be back. What do you think of the move here, Jeff?
There's a new wrestling promotion that I would love to see her go to. It's DRCW. Don't really care wrestling. I don't care. Would she be good there? I don't think so, because I think for the first time, I think we can say this for the first time. I think that their women's division is exactly where it needs to be, with exactly who they need to have there. They have a good roster of talent. They're finally getting some exposure and getting some time. So I'm all set on her, on her being on their roster at this moment. I don't really think you need it. I don't think she's worth the PR nightmare, whether it's confirmed that she did it or not. I don't care at this point. Some people are just too toxic. I mean, that's like telling me that Joey Ryan is going to sign somewhere. I don't care, and I don't want to see him ever again in the wrestling ring. because of the allegations that were there. So, yeah, I mean, I would not ever think about signing her just because of the optics. But hey, I mean, if you can strike down people for the stuff, people trying to bring actual eyes to your product, then I guess you'd be willing to take a chance on someone who's a PR nightmare too.
Yeah. Being a sports fan of a guy who loves PR nightmares in Jerry Jones, and he did it again in the draft, they will just take people that there are people out there who just don't care, and I can't say, I mean, I've been a fan of that team all my life, but I can't say that I'm a fan of them doing things like that. And it oftentimes comes back to bite them in the ass, because basically they take a chance on these people and the stuff rears its ugly head, and then they end up out of the league in a couple years anyway. So leopards don't change their spots very often, guys, especially when you're older and you've been around for a little while. If you're very, very young, you're 18 to 20 years old or whatever the case might be, and you still have some growing up to do, especially mature-wise, then maybe. But people who kind of have this attitude don't usually change it. In fact, a lot of times it gets worse because they figure, well, you know what? Well, look what I did, and it didn't matter. So I got here anyway. And then the cockiness kind of comes out, and it gets worse. So it's very risky. It's very, very risky, to say the least. So C mentioned something about why they did what they did, and they tried to do it because they wanted to cover up the Tessa signing. That would be a hell of a thing to cover up a Tessa signing with. But it's crazy. It's crazy. We'll see where it goes. But everybody was wondering, where is she going to go? Where is she going to go? It kind of died down for a while, and now, obviously, she is going to come back. So there you go. All right,
Joe. Can I mention this too? This is all the same company. Because Dan Bradley, I want to thank you for bringing this up, because I forgot about it. I tried to forget about it. This is also the same company that is also so tone deaf that they have Alberto Del Rio doing stuff there.
Oh boy,
spotted doing stuff there. That's it's just tone deaf. Sorry.
He shouldn't. That dude, when I saw him wrestling, he was wrestling Andrade, wasn't he?
He's going to wrestle Andrade.
But I was shocked when I saw that. Really seriously shocked when I saw that. And I'll tell you what, that's not a good decision on Andrade's part either at all, because sometimes it's guilty by association. And just the fact that he's wrestling that dude, I mean, whether or not Andrade plays a heel and he plays the dirty face, still, that guy is garbage. I agree. That really was definitely not a smart move by whoever decided to book that. So, agreed. All right. So that takes us up to, yes, there have been shakeups backstage in WWE. Now, this has become a hot topic, because I think we are ingrained as a society, especially a wrestling society, to always want answers. And when we didn't see things happening on Raw that we particularly enjoyed, especially these last 3 or 4 weeks, people that were not there, all of a sudden the questions came about. Where are your tag team champions that just won the tag team belts? Why haven't they been on the show? Where's Bray? We only saw him in the Funhouse. Why hasn't he been around? So that kind of stuff starts gathering steam, and then it gets out to the dirt sheets, and then they all put out their opinions on what happened. So none of us know. There are no facts. The only thing that is swirling about out there is that it could be COVID related. It could be something may have happened. There's rumors that said that people were at a party after the show and that there was one person there who had COVID. Some are saying that it was a person who was released then afterwards when they had the big thing of cuts. And none of that is factual. Nobody knows what it is. But let's just, for the sake of argument, say that is part of the reason why. Well, that could lead to a lot of reasoning why we've been seeing such a mess on Raw. But obviously, it's not just there that they're making changes. They are making changes in the back as well. We heard about Jason Jordan. Jason Jordan is going to be the executive producer of both shows, Raw and SmackDown. So he's going to have a lot of pull. An exec producer has a lot of say. It's like the guys for Marvel. Like Kevin Feige is an exec producer for Marvel. They have a lot of say as to what's going on. Obviously, you're still going to have creative, but John Laurinaitis is out of that position, so he's gone. There's a gentleman named what is his first name, Jeff? Mr. Khan's first name. Nick Khan. Okay, Nick Khan also has been put into a different position as well. So he's coming in. So the answers that we want may be a big combination of things, and this is why, like, I mean, look, I get impatient too. I'm like a lot of you. If I see a lousy show, I'm going to call it a lousy show, and I've done that. I've said Raw has been terrible, and in my opinion, it has. There's been a couple good matches here and there about, that were okay, but for the most part, it's been all over the place. I mean, people slipping and sliding on mats and stuff like that. I don't know, but maybe that the reasons we're looking for are a combination of the talent and stuff going on with them, and then maybe a combination of all these changes in the back. So, Jeff, I don't know. I guess looking forward, hopefully that we get to see now where these changes are going to lead. Maybe it won't even get instated until after Backlash is over. They might go to the pay-per-view and do what they're doing there. And then, you know what? They're saying it's WrestleMania Backlash. Well, maybe this is almost like a WrestleMania reset button too.
Yeah, I mean, we've been calling for that reset for a while. And I think some of this had to happen in order for the shows to get better.
Yep.
It's particularly Raw. Raw is really the low point of WWE right now, which is a shame because Raw used to be the A show and it wasn't even close.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I hope that a lot of these shakeups change some things because, man, it's hard sometimes defending some of the stuff that's out there. So, I'm not as down on it as others are, but they need to hit a reset button in the worst possible way, make things make sense, give us some cohesive storylines that, that actually make sense. Don't give us the same booking every single week. Don't give us the same matches every single week. Develop some people. Why don't you? I mean, there are people that you can develop the people and stop shoving the same people down our throats. So yeah, that's just, I mean, they need some changes. I'm happy for Jason Jordan because from everything that you hear, he's a good dude and knows the business inside and out. And here's the other thing that I'll say. Because I know a lot of people have been like, well, Jason Jordan, who the heck is he? Bill Belichick, was he a star NFL player? But he's a hell of a coach, right?
Yes, sir.
So that's the kind of thing that you have to look at is like, you don't necessarily need to be a 15-time world champion in wrestling to produce a great show. Like, you just have to understand what the people want. And I think, if anything, Jason Jordan probably has his finger on the pulse better than John Laurinaitis or a lot of other people that have been there. So give him a chance. Let's see what happens. And so yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. Let's pump the brakes a little bit. Hey, myself included. I'll be the first one to say, I get aggravated too, and I kind of go off on Raw sometimes because to me, when and I know, listen, I know, and everybody points it out. A large part of the problem is that it's a 3-hour show. We've all said that. But guess what, guys? That's not going to change. USA Network is not going to allow them to make it 2. So that's not going to change. So they've got to fill those 3 hours with quality entertainment. So let's wait and see what happens. Let's wait and see what we get this week. And let's see if we get some of these people coming back. If that's the case, then in the back of your mind, you'll kind of know, okay, obviously some truth to these rumors about what happened after WrestleMania. This is all medical stuff, guys. They cannot talk about COVID. It's just a thing. You can't. And I know that from my own workplace. Somebody gets sick with COVID, no one can say. They can't talk about it. They can't mention it. And we all know with Bray, and like Roman Reigns did before him, Roman took that long vacation. And Bray has a young child at home. And maybe Vince is saying to Bray, or they have a deal where Bray is like, hey, I'm out of here. I'm not going to be around that. And we could all understand that. So, and there were also things out there that were said. I think C Wrestling may have said it, that Bray can film Funhouse episodes from his house. So if he can do that, well, then he may, as much as I hate to say this, he may be out for a while again. He may stay away for a while again until it all clears up. So, all right, let's move on. I believe we have one last topic for the start of the show. Yes, the fallout from Rebellion. We saw what happened.
Apparently,
we saw
graphic, but you guys get the picture.
Yes. We saw what happened in two different shows. Kenny kind of took a little bit of a beating on that other show. Almost got his ankle broken for his troubles. Don Callis looked about as scared as he could be as well. And then got a little bit of a surprise, I think, at the end of Impact as well. Everybody kind of predicting it was going to be Moose. Well, obviously Rich Swann is maybe going to take a little time off, but everybody kind of thought it was going to be Moose. Well, it's not. It's Sami Callihan who's coming out after these guys. And boy, oh boy, we all know from watching Impact, you do not want to piss Sami Callihan off because, man, he will come after you full force. And it certainly looks like they have angered him. He took to Twitter and he blasted them up and down the night after that show. So it looks like we're getting a 6-man tag. So it's going to be Finn Juice and Sami Callihan against the Good Brothers and Kenny Omega. So that's going to be really interesting, and we're going to get to see. We'll wait and see if there's any stipulations to that. Is there any kind of craziness that's going to go on? Because Sami Callihan matches always have things like that. So let's wait and see if there's anything introduced into that match, which might be bloody. So we'll see. But I don't know, Jeff, man. As we said, it's not over. It's just the beginning.
Yeah. I thought it was a great match. I see that Moda disagrees, but hey, you're welcome to feel however you want to feel.
Yep.
And Azan saying that it's Eddie Edwards and not Sammy, but that might change.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna zip my lip.
Yeah.
Nothing else. Maybe I've already said too much, but yeah, that might change. I'll just leave it at that. I get it that people are not happy about what this has done and what it could mean for Impact going forward. I get that. Like, I completely get that. However, it was historical to see.
Yep.
And I really enjoyed how Impact did the beginning of the show, creating that 6-way match for the number 1 contendership, and the fact that every single person on the roster, every guy, came out there and stood around that ring while that first match went on between Chris Bay and Jake something. Like, I really enjoyed that. It made the moment feel so much bigger than what it was, and it was already huge. So, but listen, Impact, Rebellion, top to bottom, was absolutely incredible. Just my opinion. I thought it was great. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people aren't happy about this, but at the end of the day, I really hope that Impact isn't reliant on the other company for a boost. I hope that they get that push and that rub from working with New Japan as opposed to working with the other company. I think that's where they'll start to see their rise happen with working with New Japan and not the other place.
Yeah, I agree. And look, I mean, people are talking about Booker T saying, don't read too much into that kind of stuff, guys, because you know what? You got to wonder that, and I love Booker T, but you got to wonder that a lot of those guys maybe aren't a little upset that they weren't allowed to do this kind of thing back in the time that they had, because they certainly could have. You could have had a big WCW WWE feud that everybody would have wanted to see. Imagine if they had done that back then, and the matchups we would have gotten.
Versus NWO.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it would have been absolutely amazing. So, don't put too much into that, because a lot of them may just see it as something where, geez, I wish they would have done this back in my day. Sammy and Moxley have history too. Yes, they do, Conrad. You're absolutely right. James Chadwick. James Chadwick is here. What's up, James? James is a community voice. He is. But yeah. Look, I liked it too. I'm gonna say the same thing, echo the same things that Jeff said. I love how it started, and I said that during the show. I said this can make now also new storylines going forward. So it's a perfect way to do it, because now, even if you don't have that group, the small group of people that does get in that tournament, the others that go on, now you can start to have them feud. We saw Rohit get involved. Now, in the back of your mind, why do you think he did? Well, because now he and Jake something could end up having a feud with each other. So storylines branch off of storylines, and that is what I liked about it. They got creative with it, and now they're going to go forward with all of this stuff. But they're going to have a big month, guys. They have one of those mini pay-per-views coming up very soon, and so this is going to lead it. Yeah, what is it? May 5th,
May 15th, 2 weeks.
May 15th. So 2 weeks. Yeah, so they're going to start building up to that already. But yeah, I loved it. I liked the direction it went. I know a lot of people are not happy about the Kenny thing, but look, like I said, I don't think that this is just the start. They're building up a horrible, horrible, horrible villain to get taken down by somebody they want to build up even higher. And that is exactly what eventually, like Jeff said early in the show, they're going to do with Roman Reigns, because Roman is this horrible villain. Who can stop this guy? Well, somebody will. And that person is going to get blown up to the moon to do it. So there you go. All right. We are now, I think, at everyone's favorite moment.
All right, here we go.
The airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're going to hear about
I love that. I got a lot of problems with you people, and now you're going to hear them. We are at the favorite part of the show for almost everyone now. Everyone loves the airing of grievances on our show. I remember when this was just a one-off kind of a thing, and now it ends up being every week. We don't necessarily plan this. It just ends up happening this way. So, Jeff, why don't you start this week, and I will go second this time. So go ahead. The floor is yours, sir.
Okay. I hope this is okay with the company that's located in Florida, that goes by certain 3 letters. I don't think they own the alphabet, so I'm going to say 3 letters. W. My thing is this. There's no way to say this in a kind way. So here we go. When you make such a big deal about being completely different than the other company, you better be different than the other company. It only took us a year for them to start utilizing their women's roster correctly. But then they said to us, we're never going to go against people for using our content. It brings eyes to us. We're not going to be like those other guys who, go after those content creators. I don't care if it's a bot. I don't care. Fix it. Because there are people that bring eyes to your product that come on this platform, that come on YouTube to talk about your product. They bring people to you. Now, if people are using your videos and not giving you credit, have no problem with you striking their stuff, because they're not getting permission from you. So no problem with that. However, I saw a lot of people that I respect and admire get their channels affected in some way, shape, or form. One of them is in our chat right now, See Wrestling. Well, two of them. Conrad is another one. Conrad, brother, I don't know how you're going to do what you do for AEW. Oh, I said the letters. I'm sorry. Not really. I don't know how you're going to continue to do what you're doing, because if they're going to go after people like this, then I don't know how you can cover it. And Con Man is another.
Yeah.
So you know what, Joe? I sent this in our notes for the show, and I'm pretty sure that you were like, "Oh boy, he's gonna go there." I can no longer call them All Elite Wrestling. I can't. My new name for them is All Excuses, whatever, because that's how I feel about them. Whatever. Like, I'll try to continue to watch the product. I'll try. But whatever. All you're giving me is excuses. So whatever you do is of no consequence to me anymore. We had a problem with them because
Facebook.
We posted something. We did a watch along, and they copyright striked us on Facebook.
Yep. Saying that it was audio, that we were showing audio and video, which you guys all know. Those of you who have been around with us from the beginning, we have never done, ever. I was even thinking to myself, well, geez, did somebody let audio slip through the headphones or something like that? It wasn't the case. Nope. I disputed it on Facebook immediately, and immediately Facebook stopped it. So,
I mean, you know what? I am honored, very honored, that they thought that our graphics were so good for that watch along that we were showing video. And that we were doing a better job than their commentators were matches. Because if I remember correctly, wasn't that the night that Matt Hardy did or did not have an issue or something?
Yes, it was.
And, just saying. I think we probably showed a little more concern. Never mind. I'm not even gonna go there. But just I get it. I get it. I get that you're trying to protect your content, but if you're removing strikes from people, and Conrad has put that up, and I've seen that on Twitter today too. If you're removing strikes from people, great. But it shouldn't have even gotten to this point, because now you just put a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths. So that's why, until they fix this crap, I'm gonna always put this little strike through their logo on our stuff. I'm going to refer to them as All Excuses, whatever, from here on out, whenever I talk about them. And I know a lot of people may get pissed off with me about it. You have your opinions. I have my opinions. But this is a bad look for them. They need to come out and say something about it. And they need to do it immediately. And I get it that you want to go after the people who aren't so kind to you. And I'll be honest with you, Joe. I thought that they were going to come after us for using that image of the explosion that wasn't.
Oh, yeah.
And I really, really was hoping that they did, because I was going to blast them. I've got graphics locked, loaded, and ready to explode, unlike what was supposed to happen, unlike what happened at the end of that match. Like, I had something for them. I was ready. I was ready for them to do that, because I was going to annihilate them. All they had to do was just come at me. So I don't know.
What a shame. What a shame. I mean, here's my take on this. And I didn't know. I had no idea because I was at work. And I found out through Jeff. Jeff messaged me, and then I heard from C Wrestling and other people. I saw posts from people on Twitter about it and stuff like that. Here's the thing, though. And look, I get everyone makes mistakes. We call out Impact all the time on their technical difficulties, all the time, because we said that kind of stuff cannot happen. You cannot have that stuff continue to happen. And when you are a big company, as big as they are, with money that they have, they can buy 3 Impact Wrestlings. If you have that kind of money to burn, get yourself a better bot, baby. Get yourself a better bot. If it's a bot that's doing this, well, then your bot sucks, and you've got the money to buy top dollar. So what'd you do? Did you go cheap on the bot? Is that what happened? Did you hire some stupid little company that you couldn't trust and they did it? I mean, how? And I think Conrad said they have to go public. They do. They owe a lot of people an apology here, because you know what? These guys like Conman, people you mentioned, Conman, Conrad's channel, C Wrestling's video that got struck, I think was about action figures, was about AEW action figures. That's giving your company, that's getting eyes on your company. That's getting merchandise moving for your company. And they struck they deleted a 12-year-old's channel for doing AEW figure reviews. Come on, like, really? What did they do? Did they just stick a bot out there and say, well, all right, this bot's just going to look for AEW in the title? Come on. You got to be better than that. You have to be better than that. You are a big company. You can't make mistakes like this. And if you do, man, okay, it's great, like Jeff said, to take the strikes off. Fantastic. But you need to come out and apologize. These are people who are fans. These aren't people who are coming out and bitching about your product, saying it sucks every single week. They're not doing streams that are lacing your company all the time. These are fans. You got to be better. You got to be better. And that's a major, like Jeff said, that's a big thing. You're turning off people who are creating content about your show, happily, excited, wanting to have fun with others who want to listen to what you have to say about their show. And you're turning those people off. Now, maybe they will take the strikes off and people will forgive, but maybe some don't. And those are the ones you're going to watch now, because, boy, what you did was you just drove them to your competition. You just drove them to another wrestling company, wherever they may go. So, yeah. Yep. Yeah, you just can't. You can't do stuff like that. You just can't do stuff like that. And I totally agree. They've got to come out and they've got to apologize. They've got to tell these content creators, hey, we effed up. It was a bot. The bot was messed up. We didn't know. The bot, hey, our bad. You've got to come out and you've got to apologize. That's it. So
until they do that, all excuses, whatever.
Yep. Yeah, because really it's going to look like they don't care. If they let it go, It's going to look like they just don't care. So, all right.
I know you got. Yeah, I'm ready for this one right here.
I had a better thing planned, but then Dave LaGreca went and beat. There's no way I could ever beat that. Like I love his rants. If I could rant like someone, it would be Dave LaGreca. I talked about this already a little bit earlier. And again, I'm not. This is one man's view, right? So this segment is our personal view. Okay, so let me just put that out there first. If you liked Raw, I'm glad for you. I really am. I'm happy for you, and I'm glad you enjoyed the show. Raw, put it lightly, is a mess. It's an absolute mess. I didn't know last week whether to turn it off and just watch something else altogether, which would have been the first time I've done that in probably about 2 years, because I got away from them before. I didn't know what to do. Some of the garbage that I saw on that show, and there was some there. Yes, okay, there were some matches that were okay, but some of the crap that I saw on that show, it just astounds me. And yes, I had said earlier, and I'm going to stick to it. I'm going to give it a chance because maybe all these other extenuating circumstances have played a factor. So the backstage stuff, the COVID stuff, maybe all of that stuff played into it. But listen, there is no excuse. I didn't give AEW their excuse, and I'm not giving WWE theirs either. You have got talent in the back that you can use that sits in catering that's not on shows a lot that you can be putting out there. The thing with Nia Jax sliding around on the mat, the dear Lord, what are they entertaining? Are you trying to entertain 8-year-old kids? I'm telling you something. I took offense at that. I took offense at watching that. That's like watching some boneheaded cartoon. I mean, that's awful. I mean, with the other women laughing at her and she slips sliding around on mats on the like, what is that? What is that? I'm sorry, but do we know that Nia is enjoying doing this stuff? Let's just make fun of you and have you slide down on the mats and and falling off the ring apron and do, dear Lord, she is a tag team champion, and this is what you're going to do? You're going to have them you're going to do this kind of stuff? Well, let's go. Yeah, let's go out there. We're going to be funny, and we're just going to have you slide all over the water. They're going to pour water, and you're just going to slide. Who the hell comes up with this? Who in God's name comes up with this crap? But yet, you're leaving people off the show now. I'm not going to assume anything at this point during this segment anyway, because I don't know for sure. But you're leaving people off of the show that could be bringing so much better stuff and so much better promos to Raw, and then you're giving us this. Now the RK Bro thing, okay, that could be funny. I get it. The whole Riddle thing, and it looks as if Randy may have wanted to do that because Randy kind of does what he wants. Well, let's see if they're going to continue it, and it probably will be humorous. So if that's where we're going to go, but you guys that were holding out hope for Bray and Randy, you better let that go because that's done. That is absolutely done. They're not going back there. If Randy Orton is moving on with Matt Riddle, they are not going back to Randy and Bray anytime soon. So you better just clear that out of your mind because that's not going to happen. But this has been awful. This has been a train wreck and a half. I'm telling you, and I said this last week. Now that I'm hearing that people are coming back, I'm going to give it another try, and I'm going to keep doing that. I'll give it another shot. I'll wait and see what it's like this week. But if they continue to do more of this stupidity, man, and I almost hate to say this, but I may not waste my 3 hours on Monday night anymore because it is pathetic. It is really bad. And that, again, that's my opinion. I know some of you enjoyed the show, and that's okay. That's perfectly cool. That we are all different people. We're all different people. And I'm not going to berate anybody for it because you guys have your own opinion and you got to like what you got to like. But to me, when this is what you're calling entertainment, which is essentially what John Cena is doing on his show that he does on TBS, where there's people that are going on these obstacle courses and they're sliding all over the place and falling into water. That's a show for that kind of stuff. Monday Night Raw is your flagship show, or at least it was. It's certainly not anywhere anymore, and it's not even close. It's not even close. But if you're going to have a 3-hour show on USA Network every single week, and USA isn't going to change it, then man, oh man, you better change. You better get this show better. And I don't care what you got to do. Let's hope that Jason Jordan does it. Let's hope that the other backstage things do it. And look, guys, the other things too is, have you read and heard what Mickey James has been saying? That they forgot about the women's revolution? I mean, seriously? Like, that's not a good look. That's not a good look. But like I said, man, Raw is, yeah, I'm over Raw. Raw is just bad to me, in my opinion. Raw is just bad, and yeah. So let's hope it changes. I hope as a fan that it does. I love Monday Night Raw, and let's hope it changes in one way or another. Let's get these guys together. Let's get a brainstorming session going. Let's get these guys thinking on a different level. And let's get this thing going back in the right direction. That's it.
Not a whole lot I can say after that. I mean, I enjoy. There are definitely moments when I watch Raw where I'm like, man, I mean, am I watching paint dry, or like maybe that's a little more entertaining. But at the same time, it's like I try to look for the positives. I can definitely see why people are pissed and just frustrated with Raw. They just need changes right now. The flow of the show needs to change. I know a lot of people are not real keen on Adnan Virk as the guy on there. So maybe you look to do something else with him. Maybe you can send him to 205 Live to build him up and then bring him back if that's what you want to do. And I know someone just said this, so let me go ahead and say this. Sometimes less is more. And I know that Mick Foley said something about an all women's brand or an all women's show. WWE gives us way too much content right now. Period. Way too much. And AEW, with their million YouTube shows that they do and the 17,000 matches that they do on each one of those YouTube shows, is getting to it's just getting to be too much. So less is more sometimes, but they don't need to add another show right now. Like, they don't need to add another show. Get the stuff that you have tip top shape. Get it, get everyone on the same page. I think Jesse Calynn, hey Jesse, said this earlier. Like, it takes time for people to get on the same page. Let people get on the same page. And I would say this to some of you who are like down on Raw right now. Give it a little bit more time. I would say give it until after this WrestleMania Backlash. And me just trying to be, glass half full guy, I think you'll see after that, it'll start improving, or at least that's my hope of hopes. Like I really hope that it starts to to improve then.
Yeah. Yeah. And like I said, I agree. And I think the same thing. Hopefully that, remember when they did this at one point last year where they changed a lot of the creative and that kind of stuff. And it did change. That was right. I think it was right before Money in the Bank, if I'm not mistaken. It could have been a different time, but we saw different things start to happen after that particular show. So yeah, if it's going to change, it probably will change after Backlash. So Mito, if you really think that Roman is going to be done anytime soon, dude, you aren't watching the right show. You aren't watching the right show.
He's got.
If you really think in your mind that Roman is going to lose to Cesaro and Roman is done, as you said, wow. Yeah. I got a bridge to sell you if that's the case. All right. So there you go. There's our grievances for the week. We hope you enjoyed it. And we appreciate you commenting on it as well. And yeah, it's just good to go off on some things. We have our own opinions. Like we said, these are Jeff and my opinions. We're obviously not forcing you to think our way. We're just airing our grievances. That's all we're doing. So you guys, you formulate your own opinions. You enjoy. We've always said this. Enjoy what you enjoy. And that's fantastic if you do. If it entertains you, tremendous. We are just trying to get our point across. So there you go. And you guys, you can air your grievances too. All right, let's move on to, I think we're going to our debate segment now, are we not?
Here we go.
Sell or no sell time, and you guys can play along in the chat. Let us know what you think on every topic tonight. Sell or no sell. Topic number 1, Impact Rebellion was the best pay-per-view of 2021 so far. I am immediately going to say no sell in this. And that's because I'm looking back at NXT. NXT TakeOver. Man, it is going to be hard pressed for anybody unless we get that big event that Jeff alluded to months ago, where we are going to get some kind of big thing with 3 companies. Then maybe you might see NXT get eclipsed. But so far, to me, NXT is up here. And then the other ones are kind of falling underneath them on the rungs of the ladder. NXT TakeOver was tremendous. And it is really going to be tough for anyone to knock that off the pedestal this year. Really going to be tough unless someone comes up with magic. So, yeah, I have to no-sell that one, Jeff. Go ahead. What do you think?
As much as it pains me to say that it, that it's not, Gotta say no sell. TakeOver was great. Yeah, I mean, that TakeOver for me was the best of the year so far. But I think that you could make an argument that because of the historical nature of Impact, I wouldn't beat anyone up for saying that Impact was the best one. But I mean, if you're looking for, Conrad just took it out of my mouth. Wrestle Kingdom 15 and NXT TakeOver, the 2 best pay-per-views of the year so far for me. So no sell, but man, it really pains me. I mean, Impact is like a close like a close race, close participant in the race, but yeah, stand and deliver. You can't argue with that.
Yeah, yeah, it was TakeOver was just amazing. Conrad said best Impact pay-per-view in a while. It was, and let's see where they go from here in their major pay-per-views. Let's see what Slammiversary is going to be like, and let's see if they can top themselves too. So, yeah. All right. Well, we both agree there. So up next, we have topic number 2. MLW on Vice TV will elevate the promotion. Jeff, go ahead. You go first.
I mean,
I love it.
This is like one of the easiest sales I think we'll do. Yeah, I mean, this is a no-brainer. It's definitely going to elevate the promotion if they start, if they really start working with NXT, then that's going to draw more eyes. C Wrestling pointed this out earlier. This isn't going to be the first time WWE's worked with a promotion like MLW. They worked with Evolve, and you see they ended up purchasing that. So don't be surprised if WWE ends up working very closely with MLW. But yeah, I mean, MLW is going to definitely gain some more eyes by being on Vice TV. And for the people that say, oh, well, it's Vice TV, it's not USA. Listen, TV is TV at this point. Some people are doing just fine by streaming platforms or YouTube. So, I mean, at this point, you just got to get in the dance. It doesn't matter where you are. And honestly, people can pull up Vice on different streaming devices. So they'll definitely get some more eyes. So, and they deserve it because MLW is phenomenal. It is phenomenal. And for people who haven't watched it, go check out their content. It's great. You'll recognize some faces and names there. And I really hope that the thing with NXT takes off because some of the fantasy booking for that, just tremendous.
Yep, absolutely. And I can't argue with this either. I'm gonna sell it as well. Look, I mean, for people saying anything, hey, Marley liked it too. People saying anything about Vice TV, look, Vice TV had the Dark Side of the Ring. And everybody watched it on there. They all knew when Vice TV was going to be on. Vice TV is a weird little channel. I watched it, and they'll have some things on there. Like I even like some of their movies. They'll show some like risque, like more kind of risque stuff on there, and they'll have movies on there that I haven't seen in a good long while that I actually enjoy. Hey, look, like Jeff said, they're on a cable network, which is better than just being on a YouTube channel or better than just they're on a cable network. So they're getting a show. It's on a network. And like Jeff said, they bring a good product. And why not? Of course, it's going to get them more eyes. Yes. You're going to be on a TV show that got a lot of eyes. Like I said, that Dark Side of the Ring was big, man. A lot of people would talk about that. That was water cooler talk from a lot of people that weren't even necessarily wrestling fans. So, and just another thing for people to watch. So again, if you don't like something, like me and Raw, and maybe I don't like Raw, maybe I can turn it off and I can go and watch something else. So it's just another thing for wrestling fans to get to watch and to get to see something new to maybe jump onto. Obviously, like for me, when New Japan comes on Axis, I'm down because again, I never got to watch it before. That excites me. And I think that this will excite a lot of people as well. So I'm looking forward to it. And like Jeff said, if they end up having something going on with WWE, even better. Because again, you're swinging open doors that now not just centered on one particular company, but now it seems like it's happening everywhere. People are more apt to want to work together. And that's only going to help a lot of these littler promotions and stuff like that get more eyes on the product. So I'm down. Yep. All right. What is our last topic of sell or no sell? As Marley barks more, my family is home. The New Japan US show will eventually be the best show on television. Wow. That's a bold statement.
That is very
Well, look, New Japan's good at what they do. Again, I don't have a lot of experience watching it, but I know there are a lot of people out there that really, really enjoy it. However, I am going to have to say no sell to this simply because, and I see a lot of you guys are kind of doing it as well. There are a lot of established wrestling shows, which we just talked about right now. Okay. So when you kind of put them in a line, and you start going, well, can it be better than Raw? Can it be better than SmackDown? Can it be better than NXT? Can it be better than Impact? Can it be better than who? 3 nights a week. That's kind of where you have to take it from. And the other shows have been around, some of them forever. It's tough to take that on. and right off the bat be that, hey, we're going to be the best. Now, are you talking about wrestling or are you talking about overall entertainment of a show? Because if you're talking about, just kind of pure wrestling, they are probably going to be right up there. They're probably going to be right up there because from what I understand, man, when you see a lot of the match of the year kind of things, they come out of this promotion quite a bit. So I don't know. I guess it's going to really depend on what you're looking for here. But I mean, just because of all the other competition and all the other shows that are there, I have to say no sell for now.
Yeah. I'm going to say no sell. And I'm going to say it not because of the wrestling, but because of the wrestling fans. Because, and someone said this a little bit earlier, Azan did, so shout out to Azan. They don't do the wrestling storylines like your traditional, typical companies here in the States. So as a U.S. wrestling fan, how is your U.S. fan? How's that going to happen? How are they going to take to that? And I just don't think they will accept it as much as they probably should. I mean, if you're looking for like a pure wrestling, like just great top to bottom, definitely. But if you're looking for storylines and all that stuff, I mean, it's not going to be at the same pace as other promotions. And that just is what it is. I mean, I know I love New Japan, but I'm just thinking from an overall U.S. wrestling fans perspective, are they going to be as invested in New Japan? I just don't think that's the case. So if it had said one of the best shows on television, definite sell. But because of the best, I just don't think it'll ever get the true respect it deserves. Just because people don't appreciate that style much more. Apparently, Conrad saying there's Andrade breaking news. What's the breaking news? I mean, we're all about breaking news on this show.
Yeah, let us know. Let us know. With New Japan coming to the U.S., where does the AEW fit into wrestling if WWE steps up with storytelling? And in New Japan, with the good wrestling, could be very problematic down there. Yeah, could be it. Yeah, absolutely. Uh-oh. Andrade has arrived in AAA wrestling, and he has challenged Kenny Omega for the AAA Mega title. Okay. Yeah, that's right. That's the title that people kind of forgot he had. He went and won that. When was that? Was that during the pandemic? That was last year, I think, that he went down there, wasn't it? Oh, interesting. Okay. Wow. Very cool. Interesting to see what's going to happen there. Could he take that title off of Kenny, and could Kenny start losing these titles? Yeah, interesting. Very cool. Well, thanks for those of you. I think someone else may have stuck that in there too, but thank you, Conrad. Appreciate that. And I forget who else may have posted that earlier and said something about AAA. Cool. Wow, that's awesome. That is awesome. The Kook says, seeing all these promotions on TV and working together is just off the charts. Exciting for pro wrestling fans. You are correct. Yes, it is. Very exciting for wrestling fans. No doubt. All right. Well, there you go, guys. We are through our sell or no sell. Thank you guys for participating in that section, as you always do. And we are now on to our favorite moments of the week. Our top 3 moments of the week are coming up. So here we go. These are our top 3, of course, of the past week, things that happened in the past week that kind of, I don't know, whether or not they made us mark out, whether or not they made us smile, whatever the case might be, but that's what we're doing. So, Jeff, start us off. What is your number 3?
Man, number 3 for me this week, it's got to be El Phantasmo and that announcement for Impact next week. So definitely excited for that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, how big was that? Was just absolutely amazing. Number 3 for me, I am going to go with, you know what I'm going to go with, and I don't give this guy a lot of credit. I'm not a big fan of his, but I've got to go with Roman Reigns and of course the Daniel Bryan match from yesterday's SmackDown. It was a really, really great match. I didn't kind of think it was going to be that way. I didn't give it a lot of credit ahead of time, but it really was. It was an exciting match. I love Roman's theme now that he comes down to. I think it suits him better, and I think it kind of gets people away, as we talked about earlier, from the previous character that he has, and I think that's good. I think it's raising him up even to that next level. And of course, the moment of the fans at the end chanting Rocky, which stunned me. Didn't expect that whatsoever. And so that to me is my number 3. I really, really liked it. I enjoyed the match. I thought the match was fantastic, and the things that they are doing, continuing. And how could you even think you can continue to build Roman at this point? But they are. They are continuing to build up that character, and I absolutely loved it. All right, Jeff, what was your number 2? Oh, ST Williams says, "Hey, Joe and Jeff, I'm new here. Number 2, Aleister Black promo, and who is Dark Father is interesting. People are telling me Taker can be the father. I don't believe that, but James Mitchell says SC Williams. Well, first of all, welcome to the show. We're glad that you joined us, and thank you for giving us your number 2. Jeff, what is your number 2?
Man, this is difficult. Number 2 for me. We got to go all the way back to last Sunday, and it was Rachel Ellering and Jordynne Grace winning Knockouts tag team titles. That for me was a huge moment. That's a huge debut for Rachel. Great for Jordynne. Plus, it creates a little bit of friction because it started to get to a point where it's like, well, if Fire and Flavor don't lose here, who's going to beat them? So this was like the perfect little wrinkle thrown in. So yeah. Yeah, that's my number 2.
All right, my number 2, and some people in the chat already beat me to it. And Jeff called this as well. Cameron Grimes and Ted DiBiase. Oh, I absolutely loved it. That, man, I love when they bring. See, there's a way to really bring these classic guys back and to do things like this, which is really, really intelligent. I mean, you know, sometimes you just have those Legends nights where they kind of come back and it's blah, blah, blah. They're just standing in the back doing really nothing. But you've had him shouting him out now on shows for a while. And all of a sudden, you know, he comes over and he does the promo with him. That was absolutely fantastic. And all that's going to do is give more credibility to Cameron's character. And just that little tiny segment. And he may never meet up with him again. That little tiny segment will give that character a push, and I think that's fantastic. And that is the way you use Legends. That is a good way to use your Legends. Bring these guys back, give them a little push them in the right direction. Oh my gosh, I love that. And I love seeing Ted DiBiase. I still think he's great. Man, that laugh, just awesome. Just absolutely awesome. And I saw some people in the chat said the same thing. Yeah, that was an absolutely great moment this week. John Cena Gamer 0809 said it. Cameron, I think Big Dan said it too. Yeah, that was absolutely fantastic. Loved it. All right, Jeff, number 1 for you.
New segment on next week's show. We give you winning lottery numbers for the Mega Millions and Powerball. So
we'll be the first 2. Yes.
Just saying. Number 1, and not because I'm trying to kiss his butt, Josh Alexander winning the X Division title. Like, for me, seeing him win after everything he's been through, after all the hard work, all of the stories and everything, and then just getting a chance to talk to him and just hear more about his story. Got to give number one to that dude this week because man, he put on a heck of a match, heck of a title defense on Thursday as well. Josh Alexander, for being Josh Alexander, gets number one for me this week.
Everyone is going like this and stealing my thunder this week. Yeah, Jeff, I called the same thing. How could I not? It's a fantastic moment. Whenever you root for someone, and you see them win for the first time. I mean, Jody talks to you guys about Bray, and when Bray won that title, I know that was a big, big moment for her and a lot of us who are fans of that character. When you see a guy who has been, going at this for a long time and you followed his career and then you all of a sudden see him get to that pinnacle, it's exciting. It's really exciting. And yes, we all kind of marked out while we were watching that. I know Tazzy joined us for that show as well, and it was really a great moment. And like Jeff said, he followed it up with an absolutely great match with Ace Austin, and now they both should be kind of moving on. So we'll see where Josh goes from here. But it was a tremendous win for him. I loved his wife's post, Jade's post as well, showing their little video of the family cheering when their dad won the title. I mean, that's just cool. That's just cool, man. Like when, again, it kind of brings you back to where it's just not a show, right? These are real people, and their families they act like anyone else. Like when someone wins a title. So, a lot of people come out and say, and these negative people who are always coming out and say titles don't mean anything in wrestling anymore. Titles don't mean anything. Well, obviously they do, because they mean things to the people who are winning them. And Josh totally deserves it. Absolutely, totally deserves it. He's worked hard. He's come through some amazing, the injuries he's come through. If you didn't listen to our interview with them on New Year's Eve and listen to what that man fought through, it's pretty amazing. Really, he shouldn't really be, for all intents and purposes, shouldn't even be in wrestling anymore. So pretty awesome. And it was a fantastic moment. I absolutely loved it. Sean Rousset says T and Shaw promo 3A. He has a 3B MSK match. Josh winning X Division and Aleister Black. Yeah, the Aleister Black stuff's really cool. It's a long play here. Now he kind of went through his childhood a little bit. So I'm kind of liking it. People who are wondering who this father character is. Interesting. We're getting segments. I dig it. So, all right. Well, there are our top three of the week. I hope you guys had a fantastic week in wrestling too, and I hope you guys all found some moments during this past week that made you smile also. So, big stuff, good stuff. All right. We are coming up on the end of the show, guys, but before we do, we're going to get to our lighter side of the ring segment, and then, of course, Jesse can start warming up. Jesse Calynn will be after that segment, or did I miss a segment, Jeff?
No.
Okay. Lighter side of the ring this week is all about the New Day. These guys, man, look, they've been doing this, and you see some people come in, they kind of do something for a while, it doesn't work, and then they kind of just get rid of it. Well, these guys have been doing this thing now for a while, and they have not gotten rid of it because it still works for them, and it still works for the fans. When they come out to the theme music and they come out playing the saxophone or the whatever that horn is that he plays coming down to the ring, it's people were saying that these guys were over too once Big E split from them. They're like, wow, they're done. They can't do that same gimmick anymore. It's not true. It's not true. Now, maybe they're not in the title picture right now, but you know what? It doesn't matter. They still are coming out with the humorous stuff. They have them involved with Riddle in the backstage quite a bit now, too, which is also cool for Riddle. It gets him kind of into the comedy scene. And if that's what they're going to have him do, then why not go and take some stuff from some of the best guys who've done this for a while? What it shows you is that it shows you that comedy stuff can still be done in wrestling, and it could be done well. to the point of where it still brings smiles to people's faces, and give them credit. Kofi, of course, Xavier Woods, give them credit because they enjoy doing it. And there may be some people out there that would be like, no, I got to get away from this. I got to turn heel. I can't keep doing this kind of thing. They enjoy it. No matter what storyline they're in, they really seem like they're having fun with it. And this really is kind of their thing. And they just bring a lot of smiles to a lot of people. And I think it's great. I think it's great, Jeff.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't start out the greatest, but they persevered, and it's great. I mean, I hate that they split them up, but Big E needed that split for a singles push. So,
yep.
I'm happy for him. Obviously, on a personal level, I'm happy to see Xavier Woods doing what he did. Given where he started and all those things, and and Kofi. I mean, for so long, Kofi was this dynamic, talented athlete that was kind of stuck in purgatory. And, once he got into the New Day, it became apparent that this was going to work. And like I said, I mean, it took a little bit of time, and typically they don't stick with things as long as they have the New Day, but I'm glad that they have. And, I don't know how I felt about the throwing of the tomatoes on Monday night. But
yeah, that was a little weird.
But, still, anytime you see the New Day on the screen, anytime you see Xavier Woods playing the trombone, I'm all for it. As a former trombone player myself, I appreciate it.
There you go. There you go. Big Dan, to answer your question, I thought of it, but I kind of thought better of it. Sometimes you do things and then you kind of rethink them. And I didn't want to get into that because it would have just been kind of a crap on Raw type of show. And that I didn't want to do that. So we'll see. We'll see down the road. Well, let's give it some time, like Jeff said, and let's see how it goes. But I appreciate you all giving me your ideas. I did see them. I did read them all on Twitter. Some of you had some great ideas. So thank you all for that. But no, I decided against it because it's like I didn't want to make the show just that we're going to crap on Raw the entire show. My top moment of the week was Abaddon trying what that was a funny video. Yeah, that was a really funny video. Her and Bunny. Obviously, she knows how to work with these demonic peoples. She was doing a lot of work with Rosemary as well. So, yeah, that was a funny video. If you haven't seen that, go watch it. It's really, really funny. Really, really funny stuff. So, yeah. All right, Jesse, you're up. And while you're getting ready to go, we will tell you again, if you are new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Obviously, throw up a like on the video before you guys head out tonight. Would really appreciate that. Share the video as well if you know other people who like this kind of content. And if you want to, obviously, get notified when we will have shows on, hit that notification button and you will be able to do that. And yeah, make sure you join us on Monday. Jeff and Jody will be back for another episode of Abby's Window. They will talk about, of course, what happened with Alexa Bliss on Monday night. Of course, we did not see Bray, but we don't know. There's always a possibility that he may be back on this week's Raw. We don't know. We'll see. But go to them for all that news and all the latest news about both of those characters. 6 p.m. Eastern time this coming Monday. Join us next week, and we already told you why. El Phantasmo will be there on Impact Wrestling. Don't miss it. It's going to be a big Impact show, so come and join us for the Impact stream on Thursday night. That starts at 7 p.m. Eastern time. And then after that, stick around. We will have our After the Impact show as well at 10:15. And come and see us for that. We discuss everything that happened on the previous Impact show and much more. So join us for that as well. And then, of course, we'll be right back here again next Saturday night for the podcast. All right. Allie the Bunny finally got Abaddon to smile with Oreos. Yeah, it kind of looked like she was going to start cracking up. It was kind of funny. It was really kind of funny. Tonight I have 6 jokes plus a 7th bonus that I know only some people will get. Well, Jesse, that's yeah. Yep, that's kind of the sum of some of Jesse's jokes. So, all right, here we go. Number 1. Why did the man get hit by a bike every day? He was in a vicious cycle. Okay. All right. Good start. Good start. Here we go. Good start. Maybe Jeff could break out the trombone one of these shows and play some Herb Albert and the Tijuana Brass. That's one of the albums that everybody has got to have. The one with the naked woman on the front with the whipped cream and other delights, I think it's called. Like, they must have printed millions and millions of copies of that album. My mom had it. I think when you go into record stores, like I was collecting vinyl, you go into record stores and you'll see a gazillion copies of that album. They must have made so many. Steve Wrestling says, yawn. Number 2, what did one hat say to the other? You stay here. I'll go on ahead.
That's good.
That is a good one. I like that one. Yeah, that was good. That was good. All right, Jesse's going to tell jokes now. Don't fall asleep, says Dan T. Hello, Dan T. Welcome. Azan says, I've got a joke for you all. Rusty said, oh, Lord. I'm helping C get sleep. Get much needed sleep, says Jesse. Okay. Hey, whatever works. Whatever works.
I always say we provide a service on this show.
See, there you go. There you go. If nothing else, we will make sure you have a restful sleep. Number 3. What's the best way to burn 1,000 calories? Leave the pizza in the oven. Oh, okay. All right. That's clever. I like it. Who is wrestling what? Who is wrestling Hugh Henfifth? Is that supposed to be Hefner? Yeah, I think it might mean Hefner. That's just a crime, Jesse, says Rusty. All right, number 4. Why was the student's report card wet? It was below sea level.
That's good.
Ironically, I just told the story on my 80s podcast about my report card being wet. I purposely did it.
You do that too?
I did. Yeah. Oh, man, dude. That's a story in itself. I talked about how, like, I raised all this money to buy a Pac-Man video game that I wanted so badly. And then we got the report cards, and I was trying to think of a way to, like, erase the grade because I got a D in something. And I tried to make it a C. And, of course, that failed miserably. So then I thought, well, the only way I can get around with this now is to wet that report card. So I dropped it in a puddle. And then I brought it in the house, and I'm like, oh, I got this all wet. Well, my mom didn't fall for that whatsoever. She called the school and got a new one the very next day, and I was dead meat.
Yep.
Number 5, what has 4 wheels and flies? A garbage truck. Hopefully you all will get that one quicker than I did. Oh. Who is wrestling Hugh Hefner? Ric Flair, if he was in charge of the Impact Women's Division.
So are you saying that he'd try to give out rides on Space Mountain?
Is that what? Okay. Okay.
Speaking of Space Mountain, Disneyland is open and Disney World is open.
Ooh, are they finally? Okay.
Yep.
There you go. Number 6. The only thing that flat earthers have, the fear is fear itself. I can't even read that one right. The only thing that flat earthers have, the fear is fear. It's fear. It's, oh my God, that's like a tongue twister. That was funny though. That was clever. I couldn't even read it. Oh, Wanda Maximoff must be a Seth Rollins fan after all. She embraces the vision. Ooh, that's clever. I like it. Marvel joke. Nice, Big Dan. Very nice. That was good. Spur of the moment. Yeah, did you see Seth was saying people were using the forbidden door with his jacket?
Yeah.
He kills me with those suits he wears. Oh my God, I'm dying. Every time I see him come out one of those like loud suits that he wears, oh good Lord. All right. Last but not least, the bonus. And if you don't know the song, you won't get it. Here goes. I have a bug in here. Yeah. There we go. All right. Drum roll.
That's good too. That's on.
What is Gordon Ramsay's favorite? What was that? What is Gordon Ramsay's favorite wrestling show? Well, that's Gordon Ramsay. Yes. All right. Bonus. My husband asked me to stop singing Wonderwall to him. I said maybe. You're my Wonderwall. Wow, I haven't heard that in a while. That was good.
That's good.
That's a good ending. Yeah. Oh, well, there you go. Look at that. Right on 11 o'clock. We couldn't have planned that better if we tried. There you go. Conrad says, I just got kicked out of a Flat Earth Facebook group because I asked if the 6-foot social distancing had pushed anyone over the edge yet. Oh, is Al Snow? Al Snow did that? That was good. That's a good one.
That's good.
That was good. I love that song, Jesse says. The Coug says, this is gold, Jesse Calynn. I imagine Seth having onesies that look like his suits for his daughter. Oh, my God, that would be hilarious, wouldn't it?
That would be.
Oh, man. Well, there you go, guys. That is it for our show for tonight. We hope you enjoyed it. We hope that you had a good time, because that's pretty much what it's all about. And obviously, we will be back on Monday with Abby's Window. We enjoyed having all of you here. Thank you for being here with us. Thank you for participating in the chat. We really appreciate that. And yeah, that's it. We will see you guys all again. Well, Jeff and Jody will see you on Monday for Abby's Window. The Coug says, great show tonight. Thank you. We really appreciate that. And again, thank you to all of you guys who have come out. Make sure you drop a like on the video before you leave. And of course, if you haven't already done so, subscribe to the channel. We would be ever so grateful. And also share the video as well. And don't forget, we mentioned a couple interviews. If you want to go back and check them out, if you didn't get a chance to, we did interview Rob Schamberger, the guy who painted that Fiend painting that I have. And of course, go back and visit really any of our other interviews that we've done over the course of time. The Sean Alexander and Jade one was a great one too from New Year's, if you didn't catch that and you're new to our channel. So, all right, guys, that is it. As we always say, have a great rest of your weekend. Enjoy your rest of your Saturday. Enjoy your Sunday as well. And hopefully we will see you all on Monday when we reconvene with Abby's Window. Stay safe, and we'll hopefully talk to you all again soon. Good night, everybody.